So in this small discussion I will briefly mention about how to keep a lab record. Okay, so once we get to the class after the holidays, we will be taking brief um, sessions, lab sessions, and in that lab session we'll be doing some small experiments. Okay, so now once you come to the lab, you are supposed to carry a lab record and also a rough book. So why we need rough book and why we need lab records, I will come to that later. Okay, so anyway, once we come to the lab, we perform some experiments. Some experiments might involve calculations, and it is confirmed that whenever there are calculations in the experiment, it will always be followed by data which are measured. Data measured can be anything, like for example, it can be some length measurement or mass measurement, or there can be some in general we perform very simple measurements like length, mass, and based on that we calculate certain quantities. Okay, so what we need with the rough book is that once you perform the experiment, you are supposed to note few things. You're supposed to note some observations, some interesting things that you felt or you perceived in the experiment, and then you can enter the data that you measured using the apparatus. And C is something like you can also include additional ideas that you have got, that you think like you can modify the experiment. Okay, so with this you actually attend the lab and with rough book, and you enter all these details. Okay, so this will be called a raw data. Okay, so once you get to the room and you have to process this raw data into meaningful info. So this meaningful info is what we call by lab records. Okay, today we will see how to maintain a lab record. So if it's in the case of physics, lab records have actually for science. So lab records has got two parts. You can say this is a lab. So this is an entire section of lab record. So this will be the right section, and this will be the left section. In the left section, by default, as I have mentioned in the class, we will be doing graphical. So here we will have graphs, calculations, tables containing data, and also diagrams. And physics, often we won't have that many diagrams as in biology, but still you can have diagrams. When we have simple experiments like what we are going to discuss now, it is mostly it will be better to have diagrams. Okay, so in the right session, so right session is the where the main writing happen. Okay, so this writing where you process this raw data happens in the right session. Okay, so let's see in the right section. The right section is divided into six sections, six subsections. Okay, so the first one is title of the experiment. The second one is aim of the experiment. What is the aim behind performing the experiment? The third one is apparatus used. The fourth one is the procedure principle. Okay, sorry, principle behind the principle, that is physical principle that is used in the experiment. And then we have procedure, how you did the experiment. Okay, so different people have different styles of doing the experiment. That's why we have procedure to verify which of this. Okay, then we have results. So this is where you state what results that you have obtained from the calculation. You have combined your data, whatever data you have measured. Now you process it into some formula, you calculate and give some results. And the final section is conclusion. So you'll have to arrive at some conclusion, like if my experiment happened in the way I expected it to happen and it gave me this result. So this is something that you have to do to just conclude the discussion. Okay, so now we will be seeing how a symbol record looks. Okay, So this is an experiment in which we perform in this experiment we perform the nature of waves by using the nature of the waves by using a slingy. Okay, so the first we have got title. In the title we have written demonstration of the waves. Okay, so this the title has to be concise and it is usually written in bold format, and then it is followed by aims. In the aim section we actually write in brief what the experiment is about. In the case of this experiment, to demonstrate that longitudinal waves and transverse waves by using a slingy. And the third section we have apparatus, and we mention what are the tools that we have used in this experiment. Okay, so the next section is principle. In the principle part we mention the things which are relevant to physics. Here we have got, since we are talking about longitudinal waves, it is worthwhile to measure to mention what longitudinal waves are and how longitudinal waves are generated by using slingy, and you can also do that for transverse waves. Okay, then the next part is steps of the procedure, how you perform the experiment. Okay, and finally we have results which you obtain, the things that you have observed. And also in the case of this experiment, since it's a simple experiment, it contains mostly what things you have observed. But for complex experiments where you measure things, you have some data which you have measured, you'll have to perform calculation and you will have to mention what is a net mass or what is the, so we will see that in the lab. But this is like a demo. You can okay, finally we have the final part is a conclusion. Okay, so this is like how you round off and how a final statement, how you finish the record. Okay, so what we do is that I want you to just copy this whatever I am going to show you. So this video will be uploaded in YouTube, and link will be provided in a PDF that will be uploaded in MCB. Okay, you can go through that, get the link, and you can follow this for discussion. Okay, and once you come to the class on October 16 or October 15, whichever date, so I want you to come with the record, and I should see what do you say, this data, so whatever I have written here, simply written. So this will be like a demo, and this can be used as a reference for future lab activities that we will be doing. Okay, and about the PDF will also have the written transcript of this the video, so need not worry about that. Okay, best of luck.